Hello everyone, I am Ahmad Fadli Relatif.
And I am Ahmad Syafiq bin Mawad Zamri. Today, for our film principle and communication assignment, we are diving deep into Isaac Carlton's brilliant short film, which is The Barbershop.
Alright, think about it. Sitting in a barber's chair is one of the most vulnerable everyday experience we share. And you sit down, put on the cape, and literally hand over control of your physical appearance to a complete stranger.
Exactly, Fadli. And that exact relationship of reliance and what happens when that reliance completely fails is the one focus of this film.
The barbershop centers on a sharp disagreement between Julian, a young student who wants to keep his long hair, and an older barber who claims his 20 years of experience means he knows better than the customer, right?
Okay, but what makes this short film incredibly fascinating is its structure. It doesn't give us just one story, it splits the narrative into two alternate realities of the exact same haircut to show completely opposite of the results. Our conclusion today is that the barbershop used this dual narrative to prove that reality and satisfaction depends entirely on communication and human perspective.
Alright, let's start with how the film builds tension right from the opening scenes. Director Isaac Carlton doesn't use explosive arguments. Instead, he relies heavily on tight camera framing and hyper-realistic sound design.
Yes, the camera used extremely close up to capture Julian's anxiety and his nervous hand movements. His eyes tracking the scissors and his sheer physical discomfort with the barber.
And the audio design makes the audience feel trapped under the cape right along with him. The mechanical buzzing of the clippers, the metallic snip of the scissor, and the loud invading mist of the water spray are all amplified, and it's claustrophobic and intense.
This cinematic tension highlights a deeper generational clash of authority. Julian values his long hair as a core part of his youth and identity, especially since his dad is bald, but the barber completely disregards his wishes, using his 20 years of experience to justify cutting off way too much hair.
When the cut finishes, Julian flatly says, "I hate it." This leads to a massive communication breakdown. The most powerful moment of the film is the heavy, suffocating silence when Julian refuses to pay the $20. They don't scream, they just stand off in a realistic, uncomfortable silence. Yeah, like that.
But then comes the structural twist. The film literally rewinds and plays an alternate reality of the exact same physical haircut.
In the second version, Julian looks in the mirror and says, "I love it." The energy completely changed to smiles, hug, and mutual respect. The physical reality of their hair is identical, but the emotional outcome is completely inverted.
This brings us to our discussion. On the surface, it's a movie about a bad haircut, but underneath, it's a deep dive into human ego and active listening. The barber isn't a malicious villain. He's just letting his ego and his pride in his 20 years craftsmanship block him from actually hearing his client.
Yeah, exactly, Shafiq. The film avoids a simple black and white moral. It shows us how the two well-meaning people can perceive their exact same event in totally different ways based on their personal values. The first scenario wasn't a failure of technical skill. It was a total failure of emotional alignment and mutual respect.
Okay, for the conclusion, the barbershop uses a routine haircut as a metaphor for a much larger human struggle, which is the search for respect and individual equality. And which is the part that Julian's refusal to pay is a silent rebellion against a system of authority that refuses to listen to younger age people.
It leaves the audience with a profound philosophical takeaway. We all live through events, but the reality we walk away with is entirely shaped by our perspective and how we interact with others.
Okay, so that concludes our review of this short film. Thank you for watching. Bye.